Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Bacon. Welcome to the show, y'all. I want to tell you this story about this guy named Gmac. See, Gmac, he became one of the guys when he was real young. And he was eager to please, eager to do anything that he felt he needed to do or that the guys wanted him to do to get their approval. So when he was real young, he wasn't even, a teenager. I'm talking about 18 years old at this point. He became one of the guys when he was like 16 or 17, something like that, right? And when he became one of the guys, they saw very quickly that he would do anything to please them, anything. And one of the things that the guys did in the neighborhood that he grew up in was they extorted drug dealers. Drug dealer want to sell some dope on any particular company that was within the deck that the guys were on, they had to pay. Now, a lot of y'all act like you're surprised about that. Don't be, because you know this stuff goes on. You got to pay to play. But there was this one dude in particular, he didn't want to pay nothing. He refused to pay. So brought them, they sent somebody there to whoop him up, rough him up. That didn't work. So brought them had Gmac and a couple of other younger brothers follow him. And they followed him and they figured out where he laid his head when he wasn't hustling. And he had this gal. She was beautiful. And when Brother and them seen her, they noticed that she had a bump, a baby bump, right? So they went back and they reported to folks and them and told folks and them, they knew where he lived, they knew what he was doing and all this and that, they knew his patterns and all this different type of stuff, and that his girl was with child. She was pregnant. So Brother and them told him to keep watching him. They wanted to be sure this is where he laid his head. So Brother and them kept watching him. They kept watching. And it became to the point where it was like at any particular time, they knew where he was going to be, what he was going to be doing, and who he was going to be with. And every day, at the same time, he would visit girl. He would visit girl at her house, go by there, and she was getting bigger and bigger, So this is what happened. Brother and them sat down and decided, okay, we done whooped him. He don't want to pay. They ain't trying to run him off. See, because I know a lot of y'all thinking, why ain't they just knock him off? No. You can't get no money out of somebody you done knocked off. They want money because dude was making good money. And they wanted a piece of it. You feel me? Why knock him off and put somebody else in play that might not be able to come up with the best product that he's got and all this whole kind of stuff, right? So they decided that they were going to put the screws to him real tough. So the older brothers told Gmac and the younger brothers, go kidnap Gal. And we going to get dude to pay us a ransom. He going to bend and do what we want him to do one way or the other. So they knew what time Gmac and them knew what time this dope boy paid to visit the girl, so they swooped by there a couple of hours before that. First they tried to lie to her and tell her that dude sent them by there and they need to get her and take her to meet him, but she wasn't going. She had been schooled real good about that, so she refused to go. So they pulled out that thing and said, you going or else. So she was scared for her and her unborn child, so she got in the car. They drove her to this undisclosed spot, right, where she didn't recognize nobody, when she got out of the car, because on the way over there, they got her eyes taped up, so she can't see nothing. So when she gets over, she don't recognize nobody. They put in this room, it's all blacked out. They got the trash bags covering all the windows and the doors, everything. It's just like she can't even tell where the door's at when she was inside the room. And the only thing inside the room was a bed in the corner, a table, and a chair where one of the guys was sitting, and a phone. And now they had the toilet and all this and that, right? But it was like nobody that was inside that room, if you didn't know where you were at, you'd be able to tell. You couldn't tell where you were at. So she was in there, she was terrified. And they had plenty of bags of groceries in there because they didn't know how long this was going to take. So they were trying to, Brother them before they left, they trying to talk to her and tell her everything's going to be fine. They just got to take care of some business with her dude and all this and that. They were not going to hurt her and all this and that. Because they were just trying to keep her calm because she's pregnant. But she was hysterical. And she kept telling them, please let me go. I won't say nothing. I won't say nothing. And they said, this ain't about you not saying nothing. This is about getting your man to do the right thing. And she said, just tell me and I'll tell him he'll do whatever I tell him to do. And they were like, we can't do that. We can't do that. But we are going to have you get on the phone and tell him. And when he does it, you can leave. So, Bud and them leave, and they left one of the brothers in the room with them. They leave, they go back to headquarters. When they get back to headquarters, the brother and them is telling them, okay, now I need you, talking about Gmac, to make a call to him. And they make a call to him. They got the number from Gab. He answered the phone. They tell him, look, we got your Gab. Go to the house, verify it, you're going to see. We got your Gab. And if you want her back, her or your child, you're going to have to pay. We've been telling you, you're going to have to pay. And he said, man, please don't hurt my girl, man. Please don't hurt my girl. And then they told him, you better not say nothing to the police about none of this. Not one word of it. He said, I promise you, I won't say nothing to the police. I ain't going to say nothing to nobody about this. Please don't hurt my girl. And they said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call you back in a couple of hours and tell you where you got to drop the money off. And you're going to have to keep paying every month like we told you before. He said, I ain't got no problem with that, man. Just don't hurt my girl and my child. They get off the phone. First thing he do, he called the police. He tell the police his girl been kidnapped and they holding her for ransom. So they sent an undercover to the dope boy's house. Now they know he hustling and selling dope. They know he a dope boy. They know this in the community. But he's scared and he ain't thinking nothing about that. So the police go to his house and he tells them everything that's going on all the way back to when the folks pressured him to pay extortion fees. And he said no, and they beat him up. He told them everything. He told them everything. Yeah, he tried to play his role and act like he don't know why they were treating him like that. He don't know why they, didn't want, he didn't know why they were trying to extort him because he was working a regular job and all this and that. Police knew he was a dope boy, but they let him tell his story how he wanted to tell it. They wanted, to find his gal. That was the most important right now. They weren't concerned about busting him. They were trying to find his girl. So he told them that they said they'd be calling back in a couple of hours. So they sat there with him. And they told him when they call back, put the phone on intercom so we all could hear it. And they called back. Now, bro on the phone, Mac G on the phone. Keep in mind, the brothers that run the whole thing, they not on the phone. They telling him to do everything. And he's eager to do it. He want, excuse me, he want them to know, he's with it, all the way with it. So he get on the phone and he's telling them, the dope boy, this is what you got to do. Drop the money off, blah, blah, blah. All of these different types of things. He's agreeing to everything. He's agreeing to everything. And he kept him on the phone long enough for the police to find out where they were at. They knew exactly where they was at. It was one of folks in them houses where they hustle out of, right? So it wasn't no big deal to the police. They knew exactly where it's at. They called in and told them, we got a location. They dispatched SWAT immediately. Immediately. Within 10 minutes, they were kicking in the door. Gmac, the other brothers in there, and Gal in there sitting on the bed, crying, hysterical. Didn't know what was going on. They rescue her. They get her out. They take her home. She's reunited with her dude. They go on with their life. But Gmac and Brunel, they got problems. They got real problems. Now check this out. This is what happened. When they went down to the police station, Gmac didn't say nothing. Not one word about nothing. They said, we got you on tape. We got eyewitness testimony from the victim that you've been trying to extort them, you and the folks. They said, we can hit you with enhancement factors of gang-related activity. They telling them all this, but he ain't hearing none of that. Oh, and by the way, he had just turned 18. He was old enough to get it. They letting him know, look, you gonna go to jail, man, for a nice piece of change if you don't tell us what's going on. We know you ain't running this. We know there's somebody behind you. Just tell us who it is, and we're gonna let you go home. He wouldn't say nothing. So they took him down and they charged him. They charged him. And when they got down He got a lawyer. Folks them took care of that. Got him a lawyer. Paid for everything. But the lawyer was more concerned about what he might have said versus, you know what I'm saying, what's really going on with him. And he told him he ain't saying nothing. He ain't got nothing to say. And bat it up. Bat it up. He ain't trying to hear nothing about no plea. He's thinking they can't prove nothing. And the lawyer's not working on his behalf. He working on folks' behalf. He ain't trying to really help him. So they get a few months he's in jail. They ain't making his bond. And at first the money was flowing. They were taking care of him. They sending him stuff. They help him out. And then it started lightening up. The more they saw that he wasn't saying nothing, the more they felt comfortable that they didn't have to take care of him. They didn't do anything like they promised they was going to do. But he was cool with it. Because inside, they started to treat him like he was somebody. He was this guy. He was big, you know what I'm saying, big shit popping. You feel me? And he was starting to feel himself, thinking that, you know, this is what it's about. I'm running something now. See, when you get put inside that little cage, this prison, it becomes your world. Keep in mind, you know, it's a small space, but it becomes yours, and you start to figure out how to own it, how to manage it. And he was starting to notice how everybody came to him. Everybody talked about him like he was the man. Every decision that he made, everybody followed, even down to what they watched on TV, even down to who used the phone, even down to who used any particular shower. All these different things started to matter to him. But the reality of the situation wasn't setting in with him. He had to go to trial. And when the time came for him to go to trial, he's setting up in there like he's somebody. And when I say somebody, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm talking about he's setting up in there like he's beyond, you know what I'm saying, the reach of the law. He's sitting there like, whatever they do, I can deal with this. I can handle it. I'm that dude. So they kept going back and forth with the trial, and they would put on the witness, you know what I'm saying, the victim, the husband. Then they put on the gal. She done had the baby by then. They got her testifying. They brought in other people in the neighborhood that testified that folks now was extorting people in the neighborhoods. Now these people in the neighborhood, some of them were legitimate business owners, and they were getting on the stand, and they were like, they're just trying to make it. And they were saying that Gmac was one of the young gangsters that was walking around, that was coming around collecting the money. And they were pointing him out. So the case is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So during one of the recesses, the lawyer, Gmac's lawyer, he said, listen, I'm going to try to get you a plea, but I may not be able to. But you're looking at anywhere from 18 to 30 years in the penitentiary. What do you want to do? You want to continue on with this trial? Because it's not looking good. And see, the reason folks now told the lawyer to do that is because if he make a plea, once he done made that plea and cop out, the case over with as far as any more conversation, any more talk. They didn't want all of the stuff coming out at the trial about how they were doing things in the neighborhoods. They wanted to end it. So the lawyer's telling brothers, he ain't hearing it. He's sitting there thinking that they ain't really showed nothing. They can't prove that I did this. They can't prove that I did that. It's kind of like, y'all, when you in the middle of something like that and your head is big, you're not thinking about, they just proved it when the person that said it happened to them pointed you out. That's proof enough to the courts. They didn't have to be there to see you threatening that person. If that person said that you threatened them, that person said that you took something from them, that is the proof that they need. This person willing to say that you did A, B, and C. And that's what it was. So he refused to take a plea. He refused. Now, the jury comes back in less than 2 hours. They bilked him, found him guilty. Laid him on down. Laid him on down. Now, he's on his way to the penitentiary with a fresh 18. It was 18 or 20. It was something like that. It was a nice piece, but it was with parole. He had a chance. He wasn't going to be gone forever, so he had a chance to get out. So he goes to the penitentiary. He's up in the penitentiary, and the first day he was shipped off to the penitentiary, folks in on the town, they had a party. They had a party in his honor. Listen to me now. The party was really about him not saying anything. He kept his mouth shut. And they were appreciative of that. They were appreciative of that. But what he didn't understand is that them having a party because he didn't say nothing to the police about them, that's part of the game. That was part of the game. They wasn't celebrating, you know what I'm saying? What's to celebrate when you just got somebody that you say you care about that got sent off to the penitentiary? What are you celebrating for? They're celebrating that it didn't get them locked up. But they told him it was about him. They spilling some liquor for him. All the girls over there talking about it. And he's on the phone listening to the music playing in the background and everybody laughing and dancing and drinking and smoking and doing all of these things. And he's sitting on the phone at the penitentiary getting hyped like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Drink one for me, bro. Do this for me, bro. Blah, blah, blah. All of these different type of things. But he's not the one that's partaking in it. He's not the one that's partaking in it. So now everybody in the penitentiary, he's passing the phone around. Everybody's listening. Oh, boy, you the man. You the man. Think about how crazy that sounds. You the man, but you ain't at the party. How the guest of honor ain't at the party? If it's in my honor, I'm supposed to be there, right? So anyway, now he's in the penitentiary. He can't get the top spot immediately. No, that ain't going to happen like that. Time has to pass. Time has to pass. But he's there. He's at the penitentiary, and things start to happen. And the people that were in charge, at first they made him power coordinator. He calling shots in the pod and all this and that. And then some things happened, and the whole body got wiped out, the top leadership. And because he had been doing so good in the penitentiary with the way he was calling shots and how the reputation he brought to the penitentiary with him, how that had made him seem bigger than life, it was a shoe-in for him to get the top spot. Now he denied. Now he denied. He running things. He taking care of everything. And now that he's taking care of everything, people start to see him as larger than life. And he starts to think that. And he's going about doing all of the different things that he's doing and making money and punishing people. Everything that's coming in, he getting a touch of it, spreading it around to the folks. Everybody getting a touch of it. He's just glowing. He's the guy now. He's gotten what he's always wanted. The attention from the guys. The attention from everybody. But see, when you have everything that you want, it don't always stay like that. The rain has got to come sometime. And the rain came for him. And when it came, it was a heavy downpour. See, he started to have these feelings that something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. This is within him, you know. This is within him. But he ignored it. The more he did things, the more he felt like, you know, this ain't making sense to me no more. But he was fully committed still. He was fully committed. And he just kept doing the same stuff over and over and over. And then one day, he was visited. Well, let me back up because I'm gonna get to that. Let me put it like this. He started to feel like this is not it. When those doubts sank in, he's starting to question, why would I feel like this? This is always what I wanted. There's no reason for me to feel like this. I want this. I need this. And he put all that he had into it. But there's more to it. There's more to it. So when he sat down to fix him a meal, right? Well, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode to hear how this plays out. Because when he sat down to fix this meal, stuff started to unwrap for him. You understand? Unravel for him. So you're going to have to tune in to the next episode to hear that, right? But before I go, I want to tell you about a thing that I'm doing. It's called Question of the Day. You got to listen to the shows, answer the question of the day. That's going to be in the description box on my page. And when you answer the question for the shows all week, you send that to my email, doingtimewithjoe@gmail.com, and my producer is going to pick one of you that answers all the questions correctly to give $50 to. They're going to cash app it to you. So to get that money, you have to tune into the show and answer the questions correctly. Okay? So y'all do that for me, right? This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.